Okay, so this past weekend, Mrs. Wax Museum was out of town, and I was itching to go to a card show. I go to several card shows a month, so that's really nothing new. But for whatever reason, none of my normal go to shows in Central Florida were on the schedule, so I had to branch out a little bit and I drove to the Atlantic coast to visit Port St. Lucie. I was originally on the fence about going to this show. I Googled card shops in the area and found one 10 minutes away, so that was ultimately enough to sway me. I figured I could hit them both, so I'm going to be talking about that visit a little bit later on as well. Okay, so the drive was fine, and I eventually made my way to the venue, which was the Polish American Club Convention Center. It reminded me a lot of the other Shriners and church parish hall venues I'd been to before. I'm going to try to do what I would usually do, where I give you some of the sights and sounds. I'm going to show you some of the cards that I picked up at this show, and then I'll move into part 2 where I show the card shop that I went to and talk about some things that I saw there as well.
And so I'm like, so you got a different show and somebody gets all the feel of which person's going to buy something that day. It's true.
Real well, but
He goes to Cold Snack. He's always in.
yeah, I've been doing cold
He
snack.
always does the Jersey show.
I do the cold snack shows. I got the back column. Oh yeah, I gave you one. Yeah, so, and then the Sabatino, Savvy show's okay, you hit, you lose, but I like the crowd. You know, it's a nice venue, you know. And my grandson does some shows with me, so he does Cold Snack and Habits.
Yeah, I was supposed to do Robin Bernie's show.
I play.
I didn't do it this time. I'll probably go up there and do it.
Just me.
I have to do the coolest way.
Oh yeah, it's starting to slow down.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Oh yeah, you like that one? You doing any particular year?
No, for baseball, I am slowly working on a signed 68 set, but I'll never finish it. I saw you had a few signed cards in here.
Yes. I don't think I have any signed 68, so. I did. I had a Tug McGraw, but I think I sold it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have that one.
set?
I'm kind of doing a signed 69 set, but I'm looking at some of the guys I send to in the mail, and if they're in the 70 set, I sometimes add one in. I've got all these projects I've started that I'll never finish, so, but that's what keeps it fun.
I met a guy in Cooperstown who was doing the show up there in July, and he is working on a signed, signed 64 Top Jet.
Okay, so you got a glimpse of some of the cards that I picked up at the show today, but I do want to talk about them in a little more detail here and kind of give you some close-ups of those. I also have a piece of mail. Instead of making a separate video for this, it's just one quick plain white envelope, so I figured I would open that at the start of this as well for a little bonus footage here. Not much to see, but it is a cheap little card that I don't see very often that I still need for the Ron Artest PC. This is from 2003-2004 Fleer Mystique. I think it's called All Pairs. And actually, yeah, I see it on there now. But there are different versions of this. There's a patch numbered to, I think, 35. I've got that one. There is a base relic version. I think there might be a version numbered to 500. And then there's this version here numbered to 48. And kind of an interesting card when you think about Ron and Jermaine's history together. They did not get along during this time frame with the Pacers, and that's talked about quite a bit in that Brawl documentary. Either that or the Ron Quiet Storm documentary. Either way, that's going in the Ron binder. And then the cards that I picked up at the show, there were only 4 cards total, but I got this 1998 Molten Metal insert of Rod Strickland. And this had a $12 price tag on it, which is pretty fair for cards of this caliber player. And I'll show a screen cap here at some point that kind of shows that. But Rod Strickland hasn't had a lot of sales. I think the last 2 were like 35, and then there was a 50 or best offer. So I figured that was a pretty good price on that one. There's this Topps Gallery of Heroes stained glass inserts, kind of like one of the OG stained glass basketball sets. This is one Elton Brand here. I know there's some bigger name players in the set. Unfortunately, no Reggie Miller, so I never really grabbed any. But saw that Elton Brand. I thought the price was good on that, so I grabbed it. I've got this. This is a set you've seen on my channel a lot lately. This is 2000 Topps Heritage. This is one of the bigger name rookies from that year. It's Kenyon Martin, and the rookies were numbered to 1972, so you see that up there. I would not have paid $6 for this. I'll talk about pricing here in a moment. I would not have paid $6, but I added it to the stack to see, what number is this dealer going to come up with, and then we'll go from there. It's always something I can take away from the stack. And then also this Travis Best 2000 Topps Chrome Refractor. It says purple refractor, and actually that whole set was purple, so that's the base refractor. It's not one I would have paid $4 for, but same thing with that Kenyon Martin. So I think the sticker price on all of those when you add them up was $28, and I just handed them to the dealer, and he said that he would do them for $15. So that was more than reasonable. I think I can get that and more just back on that Strickland. I'll probably move the brand as well at a local show, but then these are going in some of my cheaper PC binders. So very happy with those pickups from the show today. Okay, so that's all for my time at stop number 1 on this trip, which was the show. I'd only been there a little under an hour. I wanted to stay longer. I even did another quick lap, but at that point, I felt like every stone had been turned. And I was surprised that none of the dealers asked me if I had any cards for sale. That's become pretty common at the other shows I go to, and I understand why. A lot of the times, the stuff the dealers have in their cases, it's not that great, or it's repetitive, right? They've seen it before. The stuff that people are carrying around in their bags, though, or their Zion cases, that's good stuff. In a lot of cases, it's stuff they've never seen before, and the fact that they're bringing it to a show means they're more than likely willing to part with it. In fact, that's one of the reasons I like setting up at a show from time to time. I've had some great stuff walk up to the table, like an on-card Upper Deck Mark Cuban auto, or a Wilt Chamberlain relic. But I didn't really see that happening here. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just didn't see it. Anyway, that wraps up part 1 of this video. Be on the watch for part 2 on Tuesday, where I tour the Strike Zone card shop in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching. Remember, there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And as always, thanks for watching.